AZ-900 is a wonderful certificate and an entry point for anyone who wants to pick up a great cloud career in Microsoft Azure. Now you may ask, why learn Azure? Well, big companies, enterprises across the globe are powered by cloud. A massive shift is observed from on-premises data centers to cloud-based solution. It is estimated that globally 90% of the Fortune 500 companies are using Microsoft Azure to drive their businesses. It is a big number, and I'm sure that you are more than ready to step up your IT career. Hello and welcome back to the Tech BlackBoard. Today we start an all-new question and answer series on AZ-900. This series is not just the question and answer. You can find a lot of them on the internet. What this series will ensure is that while you get familiar with the exam-like questions, you are also learning the Azure cloud concepts. Concepts that will make sure that you are prepared to work on Azure by the time you earn AZ-900 certificate. There will be hundreds of questions well supported by Microsoft documentation, loads of tips and tricks, free downloadable learning material, and a strong Tech BlackBoard community to help you at all stages of your learning. And please do watch the introduction part of this series that will help you understand what is AZ-900 and why should you do it. So let's begin with our very first question. So let's begin with this very interesting but equally confusing question for many of the viewers. Here comes the question number 1. It says that which of the following is a correct statement? Your options are private cloud equals to public cloud plus hybrid cloud. The second option is public cloud is equal to hybrid plus private cloud. And the third option is hybrid cloud is equal to private cloud plus public cloud. In our previous series on AZ-900, many of the viewers were really confused on this concept. So let me explain this concept a little bit further. So here comes the definition of private cloud. The private cloud is where the computing services are offered to the users over the internet or a private internal network. Moving towards the public cloud are owned and operated by third-party cloud service providers like Azure, AWS or GCP. So what is hybrid then? Hybrid, as the name suggests, is a combination of public cloud and the private cloud. A hybrid cloud typically extends a connection from an on-premises data center to a public cloud. And that's why, my friends, the correct answer for this question is option C. Hybrid cloud is a combination of private cloud plus public cloud. Now let's check out what Microsoft has to say about private cloud, public cloud and hybrid cloud. Starting with private cloud, Microsoft says that a private cloud consists of cloud computing resources used extensively by one business or organization. The private cloud can be physically located at your organization's on-site data center, or it can be hosted by a third-party service provider. But in case of private cloud, the services and the infrastructure are always maintained on a private network, and the hardware and the software are dedicated solely to your organization. So I hope you understood. Private cloud means data centers are on premises. They can be also hosted by third-party service providers, but the crux is that the hardware and the software both are solely dedicated to your organization. So what are the advantages of private cloud? Well, it offers more flexibility, more control and more scalability. Now let's understand what is public cloud. So public cloud are most common type of cloud computing deployment. The cloud resources like servers and storages are owned and operated by third-party cloud service provider and are delivered over the internet. With the public cloud, all hardware, software and other computing infrastructure are owned and managed by cloud provider. Microsoft Azure is an example of public cloud. What are the other examples? Well, AWS and GCP. And what are the advantages of a public cloud? Well, it offers low cost, no maintenance and near unlimited scalability, and also offers high reliability. So what is a hybrid cloud? Let's check out that. So here Microsoft says that a hybrid cloud is a type of cloud computing that combines on-premises infrastructure or a private cloud with public cloud. Hybrid cloud allows data and apps to move between two environments. So here you can see that the hybrid cloud essentially is a combination of public cloud and private cloud. So why organizations choose hybrid cloud? Well, organizations choose a hybrid cloud approach due to the business imperatives such as meeting regulatory and data sovereignty requirements, taking full advantage of on-premises technology investment, or addressing low latency issues. And what are the benefits of the same? Well, hybrid cloud offers you more control, flexibility, cost effectiveness, and ease. I hope you understand this very important concept of private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. A lot of question in AZ-900 comes around these concepts, so please read this documentation. The link is right there in the description box. Coming to the second question, the question says that which of the following describes a benefit of cloud services? Your options are economics of scale, fixed workloads, and the third one is unpredictable cost. The correct answer for this question is option A, economics of scale. The reason is that economics of scale is the ability to do the things more cheaply and more efficiently when operating at large scale in comparison to operating at a smaller scale. What this means is that the cloud providers such as Microsoft, Google, or Amazon are large-scale businesses and are able to leverage the benefits of scale and then pass on those benefits to their customer. Let me take example of the ability to acquire hardware at lower cost. So because these companies acquire the hardware at a massive scale, and due to this massive acquisition, they get a lot of discount and then they can pass on these discount or cheaper cost to their customers, which is not possible for a single user or let's say a small scale business. So that's why economics of scale is a big benefit of cloud services. Moving on to the question number 3. Here we have that when you implement a SaaS, which is software as a service solution, you are responsible for which of the following responsibilities? Your options are installing patches on operating system, configure high availability, configuring SaaS solution, and the last option is install SaaS solution. And the correct answer for this question is option C, configuring the SaaS solution. Now you may ask why this is a correct answer. So let me give you an example. I'm pretty sure that almost every one of you watching this video must have used some kind of email services. For example, Gmail, Outlook, or any other for that matter. Let's pick Gmail for now. So while using Gmail, have you ever installed any patches on the operating system? In fact, I'm sure that you would not have ever bothered about the operating system itself. Similarly, using Gmail, we have never thought about how to ensure high availability or installing Gmail. It is already there for us and we use it over internet. The only thing we are bothered about is to configure the Gmail in the manner that we want, the templates, the settings, and then use it to our convenience. And friends, just to make a point here that these email services such as Outlook, Hotmail, Gmail, all these comes under SaaS solution. Friends, just to help you study further and deeply understand the cloud concepts, I suggest you to watch this video series where I have explained all the cloud concepts in quite detail. Fundamental concepts like what is cloud, how it works, virtual machines, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Besides that, I have also explained public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud, and a lot more Azure concepts. This series is fully updated and synced with the Microsoft syllabus and would provide a solid ground-up learning to you on Microsoft Azure in 2023. So please do watch this series. Links are given in the I button on the top right corner, description box, and in the pinned comment. And before we move ahead, I want to say that friends, your advice on the current content and what you want to see in the upcoming episodes truly powers the Tech BlackBoard channel. So please reach us in the YouTube comment section, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or you can even write to us at connectus@thetechblackboard.com. And now comes our question number 4. The question says that which of the following refers to the spending upfront and then deducting that expenses over the time. Your options are capital expenditure, operational expenditure, and the third one is supply and demand. And the correct answer for this question is option A, capital expenditure. And friends, capital expenditure and operational expenditure are two most important and fundamental concepts in Microsoft Azure. In fact, they are very important from the exam perspective as well, and you will get handful of questions based on them. So let's first understand this concept better, and then we will do some questions based on this. So here, my friends, on this slide, I have captured the main differences between capital expenditure and operating expenditure. Starting with the capital expenditure. So capital expenditure, also known as CapEx, is spending of money on the physical infrastructure upfront and deducting that expenses from your tax bill over the time. On the other hand, the operational expenditure is spending money on services or products now and then being billed for them now. You can deduct this expense from your tax bill in the same year. Moving on, capital expenditure is an upfront cost which has a value that reduces over the time and usually has no recurring cost. Then on the other hand, OPEX, well, there is no upfront cost, but that has a recurring cost. So a major decisive difference between capital expenditure and operational or operating expenditure is that capital expenditure is upfront cost while the operating expenditure is recurring cost. Moving on, capital expenditures are major purchases a company makes that are designed to be used over a long term. On the other hand, operating expenditure are day-to-day expenses a company incurs to keep its business operational. And now let's check out some examples of capital expenditure that includes physical assets such as buildings, equipments, machinery, and vehicles. And for the operating expenditure, we have employee salaries, rent, utilities, property taxes, and cost of goods sold. One more example, deploying your own data centers and Azure reserved virtual machine instances are few examples of CapEx pricing model. Very important exam tip here. Azure reserved virtual machines are not categorized as operating expenditure. They are capital expenditure. Sometimes there can be a question on this because normally cloud solutions are more associated with the operating expenditure. So in case in exam there is a question around Microsoft Azure reserved virtual machine, then you must select capital expenditure and not operating expenditure. And moving on, one more example of operating expenditure is Azure virtual machines. So I hope you understood the concept of capital expenditure and operating expenditure. And once again, I'm reminding you that capital expenditure is also called CapEx, while operational expenditure or operating expenditure are also called OPEX. Now here comes question number 5. From the choices below, what is one advantage of moving your infrastructure to Azure? Your options are: the move reduces capital expenditure or CapEx, the move reduces operational expenditure or OPEX, and the third one is the move allows for complete control of infrastructure resources. And the correct answer is that this move of moving towards Azure reduces capital expenditure. Moving on with the question number 6, it says that the data center infrastructure, server cost, storage cost, network cost, backup and archive cost, business continuity and disaster recovery cost, technical personnel cost are example of which type? Your options are capital expenditure and operational expenditure. And the correct answer for this one is option A, capital expenditure. Moving on with the question number 7, which is a true-false kind of question. Here it says that the capital expenditure is the upfront spending of money on the physical infrastructure and then deducting that upfront expense over the time. And the correct answer is that this is a true statement. Let's move on to the question number 8. The question says that operational expenditure is spending money on services or products now and being billed for them now. Whether it's a true statement or it's a false statement. This is a true statement. Now let's jump on to the question number 9. It says that Azure virtual machine instances are example of CapEx pricing model. The correct answer is that this is a true statement. Now let's move on to the question number 10. It says which of the following terms refer to making a service available with no downtime for an extended period of time? Your options are agility, fault tolerance or high availability. The correct answer for this question is high availability. Now, because all these terms are very important from the AZ-900 exam perspective, let me give you a brief about all of them. So agility is the ability to quickly develop, test and launch applications in a cloud-based environment. While fault tolerance is the ability of a system to continue to function in the event of a failure of some of its components. And then we have high availability, which is the correct answer for this question. It actually means to keep services up and running for long periods of time with little downtime depending upon the service in question. We are going to cover a lot of questions on all these concepts in the upcoming parts. Moving on with the question number 11, the question says that which cloud model provides the greatest degree of ownership and control? Your options are hybrid cloud, private cloud, or public cloud. And the correct answer is option B, private cloud. So in private cloud, as I mentioned in the previous questions as well, all the services and infrastructure are owned by the companies itself. So that's why it provides the greatest degree of ownership and control. Moving on, the question number 12 says that which cloud model provides the greatest degree of flexibility? Now friends, please observe the difference between question number 11 and question number 12. In question number 11, we were talking about the greatest degree of ownership and control, while in the question number 12, we are talking about the greatest degree of flexibility. So there is a difference between both of these. And the options given for this question is hybrid cloud, private cloud, and public cloud. And the correct answer is option A, hybrid cloud. So once again, my friends, as I explained in the question number 1 as well, hybrid cloud model provides the greatest flexibility as you have the option to choose either between public cloud and private cloud. Now let's move on to the question number 13. It says which of the following describes a public cloud? Your options are is owned and operated by the organization that uses the resources from the cloud, or the option B is let organizations run applications in the cloud or on premises. The third option is provides resources and services to multiple organizations and users who can connect through a secure network connection. And of course, the correct answer is option C. So friends, please understand, in case of public cloud, there are shared resources. So multiple organizations and users consumes these resources over a secure network connection or internet. Moving on with the question number 14, it says you have legacy applications that require specialized mainframe hardware and you have newer shared applications. Which cloud deployment model would be best for you? Your options are hybrid cloud, private cloud, or public cloud. And the correct answer is option A, hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private cloud. So basically, you can run your newer shared applications on the commodity hardware that you rent from the public cloud. And at the same time, you can maintain your specialized mainframe hardware on the on-premises data centers. Let's move on to the question number 15. It says Microsoft Office 365 is an example of infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, and the third option is software as a service. The correct answer is that Microsoft 365 is an example of software as a service. Now let's move on to the question number 16. It says which of the following describes platform as a service? Your options are users are responsible for purchasing, installing, configuring, and managing their own software, including operating system, middleware, and applications. Option B is users create and deploy applications quickly without having to worry about managing the underlying infrastructure. The third option is users pay an annual or monthly subscription. And the correct answer is option B. Users create and deploy applications quickly without having to worry about managing an underlying infrastructure. Now let's move on to the question number 17. It says that which of the following requires the most user management of cloud services? And your options are infrastructure as a service or IaaS, platform as a service or PaaS, or software as a service SaaS. And the correct answer is infrastructure as a service. Coming up next is question number 18. It says that you are developing an application and want to focus on building, testing, and deploying. You don't want to worry about managing the underlying hardware or software. Which cloud service type is best for you? Your options are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And the correct answer is option B, platform as a service. So platform as a service is the best choice here because the PaaS service handles the IT management task for you so that you can focus on building, testing and deployment while the other hardware and software related issues are taken care by the service provider such as Microsoft Azure. Now let's move on to the question number 19. It says, in which type of cloud model are all hardware resources owned by the third party and shared between multiple tenants? Your options are hybrid cloud, private cloud or public cloud. And clearly the answer is public cloud. So friends, Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS or Google GCP are the examples of public cloud services. So all these third-party service providers own all the hardware resources, and that's why public cloud is the correct answer. And now let's move on to the question number 20. It says that you are running a virtual machine in Azure cloud. Which model reflects how the resources are managed? Your options are user responsibility model. The second option is Azure responsibility model, and the third option is shared responsibility model. The correct answer for this question is option C, shared responsibility model. Now friends, to understand shared responsibility model, you must first understand IaaS or infrastructure as a service, platform as a service and software as a service. And for that, you must watch part 3 of Azure Fundamental course for deep understanding on all these fundamentals. So here, my friends, you can see that in Azure cloud or any other cloud for that matter, we have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service and software as a service. Also, you can see that all these service models are compared with on-premises. So you can see that we have different layers when it comes to how we build a data centers. We have storage, we have network, servers, virtualization, operating system. On top of that, we also have middleware, runtime, data and application. In case of on-premises, the responsibility of all these layers are lying with you or your company or the enterprise. However, as we move deeper into the cloud, starting with IaaS or infrastructure as a service, here you can see that the lowest 4 levels or the lowest 4 layers are now managed by Microsoft Azure. While the above 5 layers, which includes operating system, middleware, runtime, data and applications, are now managed by you or the enterprise. And in case you take one step deeper into the cloud and reach to platform as a service, now you only have to manage data and application. Further ahead, we have SaaS, and in SaaS, mostly all the things are managed by the Microsoft Azure or the other cloud providers. Mostly in these kind of cases, you just use the service or you just manage some of the settings for the service. I gave you the example of Gmail just a while back. So Gmail is also a very good example of software as a service. To cut the long story short, you can see that in case of Azure cloud or any other cloud, the responsibility to manage all these resources layer are divided between you and the Microsoft Azure. And this division of responsibility is also known as shared responsibility model. So friends, these were the first set of 20 questions on AZ-900. Things are just getting warm up. In the next subsequent parts, we will level up our questions. And meanwhile, I suggest you to please go through the fundamental series and build upon Azure concepts. So please consider subscribing to the channel and press that bell icon as we bring a lot of quality content on Azure learning. And friends, if this video has made any difference in your learning, please make sure to like the video as it helps us to grow and keep the content free. I will see you in the next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning and thanks for watching.
If this video has added any value in your learning, a like and subscribe is highly appreciated. Share this video in your family and friends to spread and expand their learning. Your comments and feedback give me a chance to interact with you and I look forward for them. We will meet again in our next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning and thanks for watching.